Sarah is a 35-year-old woman living a quiet life in South America. Her father is a man in his 60s who raised her with his wife Denise. His wife Denise is 50 years old and raised their own son Jake alone. Their relationship is strained because the parents expect Sarah to be the nanny always. They want her to care for Jake whenever they need a free day together. Her husband supports her but thinks the argument was not kind enough that time. She has her own children, Sam and Katie, who are 8 and 4 years old. She does not want to bring Jake on their planned vacation to Paris. She has tried to explain that her children do not like Jake very much. Her father insists she must bring him because he pays for his flights now. Denise argues that she wants child-free time with her husband alone for a break. They plan to go to Disneyland Paris during the summer of September. Sarah refuses the invitation and tells her father to accept the truth fully. Her father becomes angry and claims she wishes he never had a son at all. She replies that she loves him, but the responsibility is not hers to carry. This situation has been happening since before her own first pregnancy began years ago. She is trying to set boundaries for her own family and future life plans. The conflict started during a family call before the vacation arrived recently. Denise asked her to babysit every other Saturday without any real pay for work. They refused to hire a nanny because Denise thinks it is unnecessary work for anyone. Her sister flew over for birthday weekend to visit with them too that day. The visit was normal until Saturday dinner was served with everyone present inside. Jake behaved better than usual during that long meal and evening together. After guests left, the parents called her into the private room inside the house. They made her an offer that felt like a trap for anyone listening. Denise agreed to babysit her children every other Saturday without hesitation or argument. The mother said this would help them get better acquainted with Jake slowly. Alternatively, they said they would let go of their disappointment about the trip. This option required Sarah to babysit Jake every other week until September arrives. They expected her to choose between the two difficult options immediately without delay. She said no to both without even needing to explain herself further. Her father tried to end the conversation before she spoke again that night. Denise started ranting about how exhausted she felt being alone at home. She mentioned how horrible it felt to not be able to rely on family. Sarah told them not to contact her until they were ready to apologize first. She went to get her children while the conversation ended in anger there. Her husband stayed with the kids in the living room during the talk. He thought she was too harsh when she told her father to stop. She decided that low contact was the best way to handle this. The parents are from a South American country with strong family values. Her father has a reluctant churchgoer background with his German ancestry wife. Denise had a granddaughter idea she thought would be cute to have. Jake makes fun of people and does mean pranks without listening well. She limits the time her children spend with him now that she knows. Her sister manages her relationship with the father and his expectations now. They talk at least once a week on the phone with updates. Despite the distance, they are closer than ever right now. She understands that her father is not a very active parent at all. He was not present when she and her sister were babies before. He expected them to help when Jake was a baby so he would not have to put too much effort. Denise got mad at her for refusing to be her village for support. The author said she had a complicated relationship with both parents. She felt like she was expected to give in to their demands. The parents assumed she would help without asking for anything in return. The argument ended with her leaving and them staying silent in shame. She feels that this happens mostly because she is the eldest child. Her father expected the eldest daughter to be more of a caretaker always. She feels like he expected them to help when Jake was born. The author believes this would not be happening if she were a man. The culture believes in strong family meaning but not caring for younger siblings always. Her sister lives with her boyfriend in a different state without kids. She speaks with the father at least once a week on the phone. Their relationship was awful back when Jake was born before they improved. They try to visit each other a few times a year now. The sister situation brought them closer together despite the distance between them. Denise is a Christian woman while the author and husband do not practice. The stepmother thought a girl would be cute to have a mini-me. The grandfather left Germany in the early 1920s to find a new home. The immigration story explains why he is not very active as a parent now. The grandfather left Germany in the 1920s or early 1930s for America. There are no boarding schools in her country, so they would not send him. The stepmother works from home and thinks paying for one is pointless. She refused to get a babysitter or a nanny for the trip. Her father offered to pay for all expenses, but not the flights. He did not offer to fly her whole family to Europe abroad. The author is not proud of what she said to her father. She knows that relationships, like all relationships, are very nuanced and complex. She will not completely cut ties with him over the vacation issue. She loves her father, but is willing to go low contact for now. She does not want to babysit for strangers, children, or her brother. She refuses the invitation to take her children to see him abroad. Her children do not get along with Jake, but not for lack of trying. She agrees to babysit only if there is literally no other option available. She will not agree to playdates where Denise dumps Jake on her kids. She will not make them share a room on family vacations or trips. The stepmother refuses to discipline Jake in any real way according to Sarah. This is reflected in the way he does not really respect others. He refuses to listen when you tell him to stop doing something wrong. She knows that he is spoiled but not Veruca-level behavior. The stepmother is hyper-involved in his life until he formed sentences. She thinks she is not a bad mother for having such a son. However, she had some very high expectations of motherhood that were not met. She had to work and plan her wedding while moving in with her husband. Her sister was a full-time college student when the baby arrived. There was no family meeting before the baby was conceived or planned. Her father kept saying he might be okay with thinking about it. She told him it was a bad idea and tried to stop him. She did not want to take Jake on the trip to Europe. 10 days in a foreign continent taking care of someone else sounds like a nightmare. She knows there would still be stuff she would have to pay for anyway. The parents refuse to get a nanny because Denise thinks it is pointless. The situation has been going on for several years now without change. She is not proud of the words she used to her father. She feels she needs to set boundaries for her own life again. Her husband supports her but thinks she was too harsh during the argument. She decided that low contact is the best way to handle this. She feels that her father is not a very active parent to them. She is not willing to completely cut ties with him over this issue. She will go low contact, but she does not regret posting here. The family dynamic is very complicated with several reasons for the tension. She wants to protect her family from the expectations of her parents. She will not let her children spend time with her brother when they do not. She will not let them spend time with him unless they want to. The parents insist that they should have thought about their child's free time before having a child. She told them that they should not try to use her family like this. She knows that she is not wrong for refusing the trip. She is proud of her decision to keep her family time separate. She is proud of her decision to protect her children from this environment. She is not proud of what she said to her father initially, though. She knows that her relationship with them is very nuanced and complicated. She is not willing to compromise on the safety of her own kids. She is not willing to compromise on the peace of her own marriage. She is not willing to compromise on the well-being of her children. She loves her father but will not be responsible for his son. She will wait for them to be ready to apologize before she speaks. She knows that the situation is not her problem alone to solve. She will take a break from contact to think about her boundaries. She wants to make sure she is protecting her family from pressure. She wants to make sure she is protecting her children from pressure. She wants to make sure she is protecting her marriage from pressure. She will not let them guilt trip her into doing anything she does not want. She will not let them use her sister against her to force compliance. She knows that her sister has her own life now and choices. She will focus on her own happiness and the happiness of her kids. She will not let her parents dictate the plans for her family vacation. She will not let her parents dictate the plans for her family life. She will not let her parents dictate the plans for her family future. She knows that she has to do what is right for her kids. She knows that she has to do what is right for her marriage. She knows that she has to do what is right for herself. She knows that she has to stand up for her boundaries now. She knows that she has to stand up for her boundaries always. Subscribe for deep dive Reddit stories every week.